Congratulations, you're different.
Yes.
That's amazing. Do you know how many people that we see floating around the internet that all look the same, that are all doing the same thing? You are different.
Dani Reeves, thank you so much for joining us. This is so exciting, and we are really excited to tell your story. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Brock. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So first, just kind of tell us a little bit about where your story began and kind of what led you first to the stage.
Okay, well, I'm originally from a small town of 1,100 people in Iowa called Hamburg, Iowa. My graduating class was 22 people. We don't even have a stoplight in our town. I started my career pretty young. I was discovered when I competed at Miss Iowa Teen USA. The choreographer at the time was an agent. She was the one who founded Carly Kloss, Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, wow.
She immediately took me to New York City, and I was immediately signed with Ford Model Management. And my career kind of took off from then. In high school, I was bullied a lot because I was a great student athlete, and then I also had a career as well. And coming from such a small town, I don't know, it's not popular to be too popular. So I got bullied a lot. I wouldn't even come to first period, because I would be too afraid to stand. Everybody gathered around before the bell. All the students would gather around before the 8:30 bell. And I was too afraid to stand outside because everybody would pick on me. So I would wait and show up late to first period just so I could avoid all of that.
Yeah.
I wanted to switch schools. I just wanted to work because I just didn't want to be around my peers. I didn't fit in.
Yeah. How much of those feelings do you think really transitioned into your inspiration and your work ethic?
100%. That was my drive, is to mainly to get out of that small town. As I become older, I really appreciate where I come from. I didn't realize that then, that this would be my drive to be successful. But when I was working, I wanted to prove everybody that, I can do this, and I wanted to get out of Hamburg, Iowa. I wanted to get out of there. I knew there wasn't any opportunity there.
Yeah, so you spent time on stage, and that really, you talked about being an athlete. What do you think really translates in the business world? As we know, a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of young adults are in the athletic programs, they're in the different entrepreneurial spaces. What really transitions well from the stage to your now business life?
Well, I think athletics and being on stage really gives everyone confidence. So I think that if you're confident on the basketball court or on a runway, you're really going to be more confident in front of other people. Now I'm doing television and TV hosting, and I'm not always the most comfortable. Like we said before, I was very nervous. I'm used to interviewing someone like you instead of being interviewed. But I feel like all of that in my past and all of that's just made me more comfortable and confident in who I am, and to be able to sit here and talk to you today.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you kind of left from doing pageants and winning your first pageant, what led you into the workspace? Where did you kind of go from there?
Yeah, so actually I competed for Miss Iowa for 5 years before I finally won.
Tell me about that. How did that go? Because a lot of people give up, and it's the persistence.
My first pageant, Iowa, all the girls compete apparently, because my very first pageant, there were 150 girls.
That's like a whole population.
I know. And I was in the top 10, and I just kept competing because I actually met some of my greatest friends there. We were able to relate because we kind of were doing the same type of thing, lots of community service and all of that. And I competed for 5 years because I just couldn't win. I would place but I couldn't win. And the year that I said I'm not going to do it again, I'm like, I'm done. It's expensive to buy those dresses and to get your hair and nails done, the whole thing. And thanks, Mom and Dad. I said I wasn't going to compete that year, and my mom found the most beautiful dress online and talked me into it. And then that year I won Miss Iowa USA 2007 and competed for Miss USA at now the Dolby Center, which was the Kodak Theater in Los Angeles.
That's awesome. That had to be a great experience.
It was the coolest experience.
Yeah.
It's opened up so many doors. I've met so many amazing people through the Miss Universe organization. And yeah, I credit that a lot to my success as well.
Yeah, so to the young women watching especially, it's big in our modern day to be an Instagram model and really kind of pursue the fashion industry or the model industry per se. What do you say to those young women, young entrepreneurs, maybe even young men who are maybe pursuing this on Instagram? Where do they take their career path to maybe find themselves in a situation like you're at?
Oh, well, the first thing I would definitely say is you have to be yourself. I'm going to look at the camera for this one. Where am I? Because it's so, be yourself. If you are not a swimsuit or lingerie model, you do not have to do that. You don't have to do that. I do not post any swimwear, any lingerie. Not that I don't wear that kind of stuff, but I really feel like for me, that's not who I am for the public to see.
Yeah.
I really stuck to my guns on staying classy and sophisticated for my viewers and making it family friendly for anybody to come and see, because I didn't feel comfortable. I knew that my family could see my Instagram, and that didn't make me feel comfortable. So if that does not make you feel comfortable, you don't have to do that. You don't.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because people will respect you for what you bring to the table. Don't try to do everything that everybody else is doing for attention. It's not worth it. You'll regret that, trust me, when you get older.
Yeah, so kind of transitioning from your path, from modeling and that kind of stuff, finding yourself in Vegas, what led you into this company?
Oh, geez, Deluxe Magazine, yeah? Oh, well, Tim Hancock is the publisher of Deluxe Magazine, and he met me through just events in the city, and he could tell that I really wanted to get into television, and I started to transition my career into TV. And at that time, I had just booked a television show on Amazon Prime called Vegas Fashionista.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, he wanted to create a company called Lux News Live. And we're kind of like a web series, and we interview entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, that type of thing in Las Vegas. And we have an Emmy award-winning host, and then me as well. And we are doing television. So I didn't say this before, but when I was younger, I wanted to be the next Mary Hart from Entertainment Tonight.
Cool. Okay.
But my modeling career took off. But now with Tim, he brought my whole life in a complete circle. And now I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. And now I'm hosting, emceeing, and sitting on beautiful furniture and interviewing great people all over the world. So
yeah. So kind of from that, when you guys made the transition in Deluxe over to actually a hard copy in a paper magazine, what was that transition like? Because that's a big scale step for a company, from going digital to paper, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. That's what every magazine wants to do. I know we're in a digital world, but how beautiful is it to have a print copy? And that happened in 2016, and now we're all over. We're all over Las Vegas, LA. Our first issue just launched in Scottsdale. We're nationwide online. But yeah, it's such a great accomplishment. That means that we are like really here to make a stand.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is awesome. And so kind of in the company, tell us a little bit about what your job looks like, what kind of takes place, and then what are you responsible for in the company?
Okay, well, right now we have this amazing pop-up shop inside Tivoli Village in Las Vegas. This is my space. I come here to write my articles and do our interviews as well with our advertisers. My day-to-day schedule is really busy. I'm constantly on my emails, checking emails to see if we have any potential advertisers. Lots of people want to be written about in our magazine, so I'm constantly replying to set up article meetings, and it keeps me busy.
I'm sure.
I model on as well, and this is also a full-time job, so it's just really busy, which is great. We couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then really kind of looking at it, we have a few questions we ask all the people we interview that really kind of break down what we're about. So first and foremost, what would you say to somebody that maybe feels like they're different and kind of has this vision of what they want to pursue, but as you and I both know, it's a lot when you got all this social pressure and you got different things coming at you from different angles. What would you say to that person that's really going through it and wants to get to where maybe you are?
Congratulations, you're different.
Yes.
That's amazing. Do you know how many people that we see floating around the internet that all look the same, that are all doing the same thing? You are different, and that is what is so special, and that's so amazing. I feel like if you know that you're not supposed to be doing the thing that society tells you to do, go and do what makes you happy. This is your life. If now, I can't say that I want, don't go against your parents, but we all know that society is telling us, go to school and graduate and get your degree as a doctor or whatever. But if that's not what you're destined to do, why go and do that? This is your life. Create what you want your life to be about. And you'll be so much happier and so much more successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so when it comes down to it, what does the word dropout mean to you?
I believe that the word dropout is not a bad word, especially not now. Like I was saying before, I think that if you are pursuing what you want to do and society doesn't necessarily say that it's the right thing to do, who cares? Who cares what society? You don't go to bed at night with society. You know, like, you need to be able to be happy. This is your life. Go after what you want to do. And if that means dropping out of, you know, like, I don't know. I don't feel like it's negative, and I feel like you really have to live your life the way you want to.
And in closing, kind of tell us that, in your opinion, what is the one thing for some of these kids, young entrepreneurs, young adults, kind of questioning themselves, needing some just affirmation? What is some of the things that you would say that really can separate a person from everyone else in success, or maybe in your industry? What are the differentiations between a successful person and somebody that's going to just kind of going to go through the motions?
Oh, well, you definitely have to stay focused, and I would highly recommend not going through any kind of just regular motion. If you want to be successful, we all know that it takes hard work and perseverance. If you want to be successful, don't be lazy. Go after your career, and the most important thing is to take risks. I risked it all, leaving everybody in my, I shouldn't say that, but the majority of the people in my hometown are still there. And it is hard to leave comfortable Iowa.
Absolutely.
And I just risked it and decided to leave and go after what I believed. So take risks, work really hard, and really be yourself, and believe in yourself, because that's really what it takes, is for someone to believe, and who better than yourself.
Absolutely. Well, Dani, thank you so much for sharing your story. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate your time so much.
Thank you.